In our last video, we created all of the visual elements, and in this video, we're actually going to start adding our code. Now, first thing I'm going to do is show you guys the song list that I currently have. You can add your own song list, make it whatever you would like. But if you'd like to use the one that I have, I actually have it over in Schoology. It's just like the images inside of Unit 6 under Music. I named it Music Demo. So you'll open that up, download it, and then it's important that you unzip it so that you can actually access it. You notice right now Music Demo is zipped. So I'm going to click on it and then click Compressed Folder Tools, Extract All. Where do I want to unzip it? At the downloads, that looks perfect. Just click Extract. And there we go. If I reopen the downloads, you'll notice that one is zipped, the other one is not. I'm just going to delete the zipped one because I don't need it anymore. So Home, Delete. There. And this is the music that I am going to be using for my video. Now, next, when creating the code, there's going to be one element that's going to seem a bit strange, so I'm just going to get that one out of the way. But it's going to be what happens when we click the Open button. Open is where we're going to access our music, so I'm going to double-click Open. And make sure that whenever you're creating an event, you always do it by double-clicking on the object. If you instead try to just type in the object information, then it's not going to work. You won't have any reference to it, and it's not going to do the stuff that you want. So again, double-click on Open. And I've got one reference there. Next, I'm actually going to want two instance variables. These will both come into play later. And these instance variables are going to house all of my song names and song files. So these will both be string variables and arrays. One of which I'm going to name paths, the other one I'm going to name files. All right, and then here's the part that's going to be very new. But in order to open up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a command called Open File Dialog. The name of that Open File Dialog, I'm going to make it very simple, OFD, and that equals a new Open File Dialog. But this is used to open files. In Windows Forms. Resize this a little bit. And then next, I also want to select multiple files at once, not just one at a time. So to do that, I'm going to type OFD, which is my Open File Dialog, dot multi-select equals true, because I do want that to happen. And I'm going to write if, and this is just going to check if the file is corrupt. OFD.showDialog is equal to dialog results.ok, meaning if the file is not corrupt. Then I'm going to want to do this. Files will equal the OFD file names, and paths will also equal ODF file names. And then a final thing I'm going to do, I want to add all of the file names into this list box. So to do that, I'm going to use a for loop. starting at 0, going all the way through my list, incrementing by 1, and 1 by 1 through that for loop. I want to add to that list box. And actually, I forgot to name this list box. I should probably do that right now. Name of it, I'm just going to call it list underscore track selection. And then I'm going to copy that name and use that right here. And then I'm going to add to it. So items.add files I. So that will add each file path to the selection. This for loop goes through every file. All right, then that is it. That is going to be the strangest, most unique thing that we're going to add. Everything else is going to be very, very, I think, straightforward and simple. So just to see how this works, let's go ahead and start our program. And right now, the only button that I have working is the open button. And you'll see once I click open, it's going to open up my file explorer and give me the option of what files I want to open. Oh, you'll also notice that the user interface opens back up. We'll fix that in a second. But if I click open, then the file dialog will open up, which looks good. And then under downloads, I'm going to open up my music demo. All of this music, well, actually, everything except for that. I'll probably delete that. Click open, and then there are all of my songs. None of them currently play because I haven't programmed that part yet, but the open file dialog works. So next, let's go ahead and make the MP3 player information invisible. To do that, I'm going to do this. If I double click on the form itself, I've got this option here called form load, or this new event called form load. That's as soon as the form loads, what I want to happen is I want the player, I may have forgotten to name it. I did, yep. So let me name the player real quick. Yeah, it's currently called AX Media Player. I'm just going to call it Music Player. But on the form load, I'm going to make Music Player .ui mode equal none. When the form opens. Turn off media player controls. All right, and then a couple of other things I'm probably going to want to do as soon as the form loads is I'm going to want to change the volume track bar to 50. It probably will not default to 50, so to make sure that that happens, oh gosh, I didn't name that either. I'm going to call it track bar, so TRK BAR underscore volume. Copy and paste it. I want the value of that to start out at 50. And I want that volume label to also start at 50. So dot text will equal 50%. There we go. Now on the form load, really that's not going to change much, but this time when I run the program, the music player UI is not going to show up. So it's going to look a lot more like my original design. Yep. Perfect. Okay, next, in order to play a song, we'll make this really, really easy. Let's program play. So again, to program it, double click on it. If you type this instead, you'll have no reference and it's not going to work. So I double clicked on the play button, and what I'm going to want to do is just this. Call on my music player object, which I have named music player, and then just write dot play. Oh, not quite. Sorry. CTL controls dot play. And that's it. Now my music player can play when I click the play button. And then next, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the pause button. Easiest way to do that is copy and paste this. And instead of CTL controls play, it's CTL controls pause. To pause the song. And hopefully you guys know exactly what I'm going to do for the stop button. Copy and paste. It's not pause this time, it is stop. Perfect. Now, next thing, I didn't think about this. If I tried running this code, it's still not going to actually play the song because the song isn't loaded. It's not sure which one, or my code doesn't know which one that I am selecting. So to fix that, I'm going to have to double click on the list track selection. And you can see right here, the event is when the track selection changes. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want the music player dot URL to equal the path of the selected index. And that's about it. If I want it to play immediately, like once I click on any track, I just need to write this. Music player .ctl controls .play. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this to see if it works. Just so you guys know, you guys will not hear any of the volume because I don't have my screencast set up that way. But hopefully when you run it, you'll actually hear a song. Let's see. I'm going to press play and just confirm whether or not it's actually working. I press open. These are the songs that I want to play. I'm going to delete that folder because that is not something that I want. There we go. And if I click on any of the songs, Yep, it's playing. And cool thing is I see the cover art of whatever song. That's kind of a good indication that our songs are actually playing. Some of them actually have videos, which are pretty cool. The pause button does work. Play button and stop button also works. Yeah, everything's looking really, really good so far. Let's keep going. Next, we'll do the track select. So to change the track, how about for the next button? What we want to happen is we want it to go to the next selected item inside of the track. And to do that, here's an important thing. If there is not a next item, it will cause me an error. So I want to prevent that error. To prevent it, I'm just going to write this. If the let's see, what did I name that? Oh, list track, got it. And copy and paste it. But if the list track selection dot selected index is less than however many items I have in paths, and I'm going to go -1 because otherwise I'll end up going over, which I don't want to happen. Thanks. If we're at the second to last track. If we are at the second to last track, I want to skip, or at any track before the second to last one, I'm going to want to skip to the next one. So all I would do is write list track selection dot selected index plus plus. Meaning change the selected track by going up by 1. And let's have it play right away. So music player.ctl controls.play. Perfect. And if by any chance you want it to, once it reaches the end, go back to the first one, which makes a lot of sense. We'll write else list track selection selected index. Actually, I'm going to copy this entire thing and edit it. I want to change the selected index to 0, which is our first index. It's our first song. Perfect. All right, that's all I'm going to need for the next button. The back button is going to look, or previous button is going to look very similar. Let me just add that right now. Easy thing to do. I'm going to copy and paste the entire thing, but I'm going to make some very important key changes. Since I'm going down, I want to do minus minus. Also, again, since I'm going down, I want to go as long as we are not on the final song. I'm sorry, the first song. So as long as the selected index is greater than 0, we can go down by 1. Otherwise, let's make the selected index the final index. Oh, it will equal, how about paths.length? -1, because it's got to be the last one. Going to the last song. All right, this is a great time to actually see if these two buttons work. So let's go ahead and run our program. When we open it up, I'm just going to check if the play button keeps cycling through. Previous button does, and the next button. So I'm going to click open, select all my songs. Let's go ahead and play something. There it is, Back in Black. If I keep pressing next, it goes to the next song. Looking good. And if I'm at the final song and click next, it goes all the way back to the front. And the previous button, if I go back, if I'm at the first song and click it again, sure enough, it goes to the last song. Awesome. So now all of these buttons work. We are making great progress. Next thing, how about let's see, let's make the volume work next. Volume should be pretty easy. Okay. For the volume button, actually, I should say this. The volume is not a button. If I double click on the track bar, you'll notice that it's track bar volume. It's not click, it's scroll. So when we scroll on the track bar, this is what's going to happen. What I want to happen is I want the music player dot settings dot volume to equal the track bar's value. So TR key, yep, track bar volume. Perfect. Make the volume equal the track bar's value. And then I'm going to add one more line, which is going to be updating this little label up top. So that label, first of all, I want to make sure I have the right name of it. I called it current volume. So I'm going to make the text of that change. I'm going to make it equal the, let's see, I want it to be the track bar volume's value. ToString, that's actually true because I do want it to be a string and not a number. Oops. And I'm going to add a % as well. I believe that when I concatenate or add the string, it's going to change that number into a string. So I may not even need that, but I'm going to keep that there just in case. Update the volume label. All right. This would again be a good time to run our code, check and see if our volume actually changes, and also see if this changes as well. So if I scroll up, hey, sure enough, those numbers are changing. They're also going down. And you guys can't hear it as well as I can, or you may not be able to hear it at all, but my volume is definitely working. Perfect. All right. Next, I think I'm going to add the timer. And adding the timer means that I can update the time here, and I can put the track time up as well. So to add the timer, I'm going to double click on timer music. And this is what I'm going to write inside of it. First of all, I'm going to make this only happen if the music is playing. So I'm going to start off with an if statement. And what that would be is if the music player's play state, music player.play state is equal to I know this looks like gibberish, but what it is Windows Media Player Library, Windows Media Player Play State. Is playing. So if the music player is playing, then we're going to do a few things. First thing, let's go ahead and set the max of the progress bar for the song. I forgot about this part. So for the progress bar, we'll add the progress bar in just a second. How about we just start off with what I said, these two labels. So first thing, let's go ahead and let's see. We'll update this one. This one's the duration of the song. So I'm going to copy that. That label, text, what I want it to equal is the music player's CTL controls, duration, current item dot duration as a string, because I'm changing that into text. Set the song length label. And I'm also going to want to keep updating the current time. So to do that, let's see. I'm going to copy and paste that value right there. Dot text, because I'm updating the text. And that is going to equal something very similar. Dot current position string. And what that will do is update the current song time. So if I go ahead and run this, then both of these two should update with whatever song I'm playing. Let's check, click open, open all the songs. And when I click on one, this should update. 9-minute song, November Rain. And it says the current time inside of it. Ring of Fire is a slightly shorter song. Yep. Everything's looking good. Okay. We only have two things left that I can think of right now. One of them is updating the track bar. And we want to update the track bar so when we click on a different spot, it can skip ahead or behind and also show the current position of the song. And the final thing we're going to update is the image so that it matches whatever song we select. So let's do the track bar first. This one is going to be a little bit different from the previous ones. All of the previous ones, we just double-clicked on the item or the object to make sure that it works. This one, instead, what I want to do is I'm going to add an event a slightly slower way, but I don't want to just click on this. I want to know where I'm clicking on it. So to do that, I'm going to click on this lightning bolt right here, known as events. And really specifically, what I want is an event for mouse down. And this one I'm going to make a little bit different, but here, how about I'm going to name the method right now. Song progress check. And then I'm going to press enter, and that created the event for me. Now next, if I do click on it, similar for the music timer, I only want this to work if the music is currently playing. So let me add that. And if the music is currently playing, I want to change the current position. So music player dot CTL controls dot current position. I want that to equal, now this part is, I guess, a similar part that's going to seem strange. There's some basic math here, but I need to calculate where on the track bar I'm clicking. So to do that calculation, it would be this. Music player dot current media dot duration. So how long the song is, times the event. The event is my mouse click, and .x is the location of the mouse click. And that's almost everything. Well, it's the location of the mouse click in the x-axis. The final thing is I want to divide that by the width of the track bar. Oh, sorry, what's the name of this track bar? Oh, there it is. Oh, I named it Progress Bar 1. How about I name it Song Progress Bar? Copy. Paste. Dot width. All right. Now, what will happen here? Gotta zoom out a little bit. But what is going to happen here is we will skip the song to the location we clicked on the progress bar. And that's all good and fine. The only problem is we're not going to see any sort of visual on the progress bar. So to fix that, I'm going to edit that inside of the timer. And I'm going to put this inside the if statement. So like if the music player is playing, then I'm going to do this. The, what do I call it? Song progress bar dot maximum. I want that to equal the music player's duration. So music player dot CTL controls dot current item dot duration. And here's a unique thing. Oh, it's not that unique. So this right here is going to be a decimal value, while the song bar's maximum is an integer value. So to fix that, I'm going to write int in front of this. That's going to cast that double into an int. And that's the song progress bar's maximum. The current song progress bar value is going to equal, again, I'm going to want to make this an integer, but it's going to be the music player's current position. CTL controls dot current position. Oh, we don't need that as a string. All right, that is looking good. And then how about we'll add one more thing, which will be for the timer. This will be autoplay. So once a song is done, we'll go to the next song. To do that, let's just write this. If the song progress bar's value is greater than or equal to the song progress bar's max, if we reach the, oops, sorry, that was supposed to be comment. If we reach the end of the song, then what we want to happen is the list index, what do we call that? List track selection dot selected index is going to go up by 1. Oh, gosh. This will actually create a problem too. If we're at the last song and we try going up by 1, it will cause an error. So to fix that, since we're going up, let's just make it really easy on ourselves. We'll copy and paste this. Copy. And inside that if statement, paste. So that will make it go up by 1 and play. And if by any chance we're at the final song, then we will go to song 0 and play it. All right, that is about it for the progress bar. Let's go ahead and check and see if that works. So I'm going to click play. I'm going to start a song and then see if I can skip my position. All right, playing Hotel California. If I click ahead, awesome. You can see the video updates to a different spot. You can see the label changes. And everything's working really well. Perfect. All right, let's do our final thing. The final thing will be making sure that the image matches whatever song is selected. So to do that, in our previous video, we added a whole bunch of images into our image list. Hopefully you have those. If you do not, make sure that you add them. Add them one at a time, and also make sure that you set the size large and the bit depth as high as you can. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to scroll into the track selection. When a different track is selected, I'm going to change the image. So I'm going to do it like this. If the track selection list. What did I name it? Sorry. List track selection. If the list track selection dot selected index is less than, this will be to, and the reason why I'm going to do this part is just in case I don't have enough cover art. But as long as the selected one is less than, what did I name this? Image list cover art. List cover art dot count. Oh, sorry, not dot count. It's dot images dot count. My bad. So if the number of images is greater than the list selected index, or as long as we're not trying to go over, then what we're going to do is we're going to change the cover art see, the picture box name, what do we name this? We just named it picture box. How about I name it cover art? Actually, I'm going to call it IMG cover art. So I'm going to make the cover art image equal let's see, the image list cover art dot images at the current selected index. That if statement is to make sure we have enough images. Otherwise, it will go to the last one or not change. And this will update the image. All right, I think that is the final thing. That covers absolutely everything in our code. Let's go ahead and run it. An important little thing was I made sure that I have 10 different songs and 10 different images that sync up in the same order. If they don't sync up, you'll just kind of move your image placement. But right now, if I click on AC/DC's Back in Black, I can see the correct cover art. And Hotel California, Guns N' Roses, more Guns N' Roses, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash, all looking pretty good. Excellent. All right, that is the end of the video. Now you currently have a perfect, fully working MP3 player. Some fun extra little things are, if you wanted to, you could download just the file for the MP3 player, and you could put this on any computer that you'd like. I can show you that in another video, and I will show you that in class. But in the meantime, make sure you take what you work, make this your own, add more music, add more cover images. Just have fun with it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day. Happy coding.